All right, beautiful. Welcome everybody to our Thriving Thursdays weekly call on economic empowerment. My name is Christina Amon, and I'll be joined today by Erica Kloster. And we're really looking forward to delivering to you what we have found to be very powerful, very fun, very heart-centered, and very effective solutions to all kinds of ways that we can move our world and our personal lives in the direction that we want them to go. And Erica is going to give us a beautiful rundown of what it looks like to explore what is it, where am I, where is the world, and where would I love it to be. And I'm going to finish up the call later on with exactly how we do what we do. So first, I just want to hear from everybody here just to get a sense of where we're at and who's here and where you're coming from is, in the last couple of years, let us know in the comments if your financial status has changed at all. So it may have gone up, it may have gone down. It may be something that you're taking a really good look at, or something that's, taken you by surprise as to how it's shown up. And so go ahead and drop in the comments how exactly that's changed for you, if it has. And for some people it may not have, but give me an idea here who has had any kind of change in their financial status. And then as you're dropping that in, up and then way down, pretty level, financial crap sandwich, 2021, increased income, says one person here, and with inflation it's been hard, forced to close fitness studio, lost business of 10 years. So all kinds of really destabilizing situations have occurred in the last, couple years. It's quite a transformative time that we're living in. And husband lost his job. And so what I'm really seeing is that in these destabilizing times, we have this incredible opportunity to inquire, well, what is most important? And so let me ask you this as well, is, for everybody's here, has anybody had to make any kind of challenging financial decision? Meaning, did you have to compromise something of value to you in order to have something else? Did you have to give up something in order to did you have to really weigh out, taking good care of my family or taking good care of my car kind of decisions? Has anybody had to face those kinds of choices? Okay, so a bunch of people. These ones are coming in faster, these answers. Yes, big time. Income versus freedom and integrity. So this is exactly why we're here today. We're here to open up pathways for more people to have more options. That we don't have to be put in situations where we're forced to choose between the most highly valuable, our highest values in our life. That's what we're really here to create, is just more space, more options, and more freedom to live the life that we feel like we're really here to live. So I'm going to actually pass it over to Erica, and thank you everybody for participating, for setting the tone here. Erica is an incredible mama, farmer, chef, nurturer, homesteader, friend, business colleague, and yeah, break it down for us, Erica. What are we really looking at in a real sense in these times?
Great. Thanks for that introduction, Christina. It's beautiful to be here with you today. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about why we're here doing this work that we're doing. And to put it into context a little bit, the world that we're living in is so different, with rapidly falling apart paradigms and models for life and economies than anything we've ever known before. And through these transitions and these great shifts, what we're discovering as human beings on this planet is that there's never before been such a radical need for solutions and alternatives to the old paradigms. And I'm going to share a little bit of statistics just to help color in the details of this picture of just the importance of what we're facing as humanity. So some of these, when I learned them recently, really caught my attention, including that 64% of Americans are not equipped to handle an emergency, an unexpected, unforeseen expense to the tune of even $400. And a lot of that is even shown in the comments of our community here over recent years, when so many people have found themselves a shift in their work, in their income, in the needs and demands of their life. And to know that people are so financially unprepared to weather these changes is what is really bringing us here today to explore other ways to create the kind of sovereignty, the kind of economic, personal empowerment to really sustain our lives and elevate them to the level where we can actually start to thrive and not be just getting by or just barely keeping up in this hamster wheel grind hustle. So if you can relate to that feeling of having been in that cycle and not seeing a way out before, go ahead and drop a 8 in the comments for the never ending round and round, right? So I learned that in the last year, over 3.9 million workers. So we're talking almost 4 million in some months, over 4 million workers in this country alone quit their job every single month in the last year. And over 41% of workers in America right now, and I would venture to say even globally, statistically have shown are considering currently leaving their jobs. So in the past 3 months alone, 30% of Americans have already left the workforce. And what this is showing us is that we're finding ourselves now in a time when it's no longer in alignment to be continuing a workforce that is unsustainable and does not meet our core needs, our core values. And through this time when people were forced to be more home-based than ever, it just became so apparent what really matters to us, and that no one's really going to take care of us and our families and our health and well-being and our financial reality, but ourselves. So we're living in this time when it's really upon us to be the ones creating change and creating new paradigms and really switching up the balance of who's holding the wealth in the country. And part of my passion and commitment to be here is to redistribute the wealth in more local green economies so that we can create flourishing, sustainable realities that are regenerating the health of the planet, of the 99% of the people, on a health level, on a communal level, on a level in which we can perpetuate a healthy life for every next generation who follows us. And one more statistic I want to share is that the top 10% of people living in America actually hold 76% of the wealth in this country. And the bottom 50% of Americans are holding 1% of the wealth. And I just want to let that sit in for a minute because I heard it recently and it dropped in really deep into my heart and started to clarify my dedication to being part of that change, right? When I look at failed systems and how corporate wealth, corporations are doing things that are poisoning the people, they're poisoning the waters, they're poisoning the earth. We see endangered species and native lands being killed off, and we see this level of just unfathomable wealth growing to a very small few. And part of what I see making a big difference on the planet is when people who are actually doing benevolent work for communities, for the larger percentage of all the human beings on this earth, and for the life of our planet that can really create the perpetuation of our entire species on this planet in a healthy, peaceful coexistence and more harmonic relations. So that's part of just to put into detail why we find ourselves in the reality that we're in right now. And for me personally, this has touched home in such a way that I found myself 20 years ago, having moved to Hawaii Island. I came here at 23 years old, and I was really allured by the opportunity to be part of a year-round growing season. And I had such a desire to live close to the land. I'd always been involved in the realm of food as medicine and really wanted to be able to grow my own food, which I know from being in this community and talking to thousands of people is a shared dream by many of us. And what I actually discovered on this island is that over the course of about 16 to 17 years, I moved over 23 times. And I started over 23 farms and edible gardens everywhere I went. And the reason why I continued to have to move is because my family was facing severe physical, emotional, and financial stress. And we could not sustain our life. No matter how hard we worked, no matter how much I tried to grow my own food and nourish my family, the circumstances of our lives were not able to meet the needs of our cost of living. And it made me realize how important it was to actually create a new home-based income stream that would support me to raise my 5 children and even prepare us to look into the future, to live a life in alignment with our core values, and to support many more people than my family alone. So over 7 years ago, I became a single parent. And in this time that I've partnered with this company, which has been over 5 years now, I've actually been able to raise my children, homesteading, home-based business, and the whole reality has allowed me to actually develop residual income, generational wealth that accumulates for the work that I've done over a large period of time while I'm still spending my days fully present with my children. And so this has been the greatest gift that actually has been able to take single parenthood as like a completely crazy, unfathomable paradigm that most people cannot wrap their head around. Like, how do you do it? How do you carry all those responsibilities and meet all those needs? And it's provided me with a real viable solution for what we're doing here and how I can take this economic model and actually be able to be of impact, to be of service, not only to my family, but to many families and to my greater community. And part of what this particular income stream has supported me to do is now be in a place where I'm stewarding a piece of land that I'm really proud to say is a family farm that is owned with my multi-generational family. And I've been able to really support my mother at 73 years old into retirement. And I'm raising my 5 children. And we have always been entrepreneurs. We've been always in that practice of living close to the earth and really creating abundance more than we've been consuming. But there's something that's so invaluable about having the security of a piece of land that is a sanctuary that I don't have to move from. And because this has been such a blessing for me to be able to cultivate this, it's part of my prayer. It's part of my mission and dedication in the world to show many more families how exactly this economic model works and how it can actually be accessible and supported to flourish for many, many more people. Because I understand when I zoom out and I look into the collective that people everywhere are really ready for new ways of being, ways that are actually supporting multiple streams of income, ways that and help us to expand the independence and the sovereignty and freedom within we get to set up our lives without having to like shrink and constrict what matters to us and not force us to be absent from showing up for those things. And maybe that's our health. Maybe that's quality time with your family. Maybe that's forwarding your passion projects in the world. Maybe it's the drive that you have to show up in a bigger way to support and be in service to others in the planet. And numerous other ways our planet and humanity is calling out for support. But what we have here is truly special. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. I've done all aspects of being in business for myself. And yet I've never found a better model that is community supported, that is a movement that is able to move energy far and wide and really have this greater impact. And it puts us into a place of personal responsibility where we are the ones that get to decide where we work, when, with whom, who we're serving, how we're sharing this. And it allows us to be anchored into our heart and in service to our personal dreams, our collective mission and vision, and to total planetary transformation and well-being. So you're going to hear a little bit more about how this works and a little bit more about what does it actually look like to be on the inside of forwarding this in the world. So I'm going to hand it back to Christina here, who's going to cover some more in detail. And thanks so much for inviting me to be here with you today.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Erica. Yeah, the animals are awesome. So if you resonate with Erica's vision for her life of just living a simple life, connected to the earth, raising family, raising animals, raising plants, drop a 1 in the comments. Let's see how many people kind of have that similar. That's also my story. I'm not going to get into my whole thing, but it's very similar. How do we just live that simple life? Well, it's actually quite complex given the economy that Erica broke down for us. So we here have sort of like a loophole in the system, if you will. It's like a way for people who are just looking to live that simple, connected life to be able to financially create that stability, that security, that freedom, those options. And I'm going to break down for you, how does that work? So the first thing is to get really crystal clear on why you're building this business. And so we call it the Purium Economy. We're partnered with a superfoods company. We're going to get a little bit more into that. But first, why would you even be creating financial empowerment for yourself? So go ahead and drop in the comments. If somebody handed you $10,000 right now, or $100,000 right now, what would you do with it? How would you spend it? Just go ahead and let us know. If money were no object, what would you be doing with your life? What would you be creating? So give us, that conversation will be happening over here. And the next part, and that is the most important part of this business, is to get clear on that and stay connected to it every single day, because that is the fuel that keeps you going. Now, the second part of this is, who can I be of service to? So we only create our economic empowerment when we're helping other people. And isn't that so beautiful? So we can wake up every day, we can ask for guidance in whatever way you receive guidance, or we can just plant our seeds like a farmer and just go out there and see which seeds are going to grow. And when I say seeds, conversations with other people. So we're going to start putting names on a list of, who can I serve today? Who can I support to share a solution with? Who can I create curiosity and see if this is something they might want to learn about and make a change in their life, whether it's the health, whether it's the wealth, whether it's the community, whether it's the personal development. Who can I share a solution with? So that's the other piece of this, is starting to get clear on who we want to work with and who we want to share this with, without any attachment to what they do with that information. That's one of the keys as well, is just learning that, like a gardener, we're planting seeds. We don't get hung up on which seeds are going to germinate, because we know they're not all going to germinate. We just hope for the best, and we tend them with great care. So we're going to water each one. We're going to give each one a great, fertile, fluffy bed full of amendments, and do our best to see what kind of harvest we can bring. So that's the second piece of this. And then the next piece is that we want to just create momentum. We want to get the ball rolling and create activity and life force and get things moving. And the way that that works is that we get into conversation with people. So I like to call this the garden of our relationships, that we are opening relationships with people and we're opening conversations, we're tending relationships we currently have. And we're not doing this by pushing our agenda. That isn't tending a relationship, and it isn't how this business works. It can get confused. So just to be clear, you may have experienced that. Maybe somebody approached you with their economic opportunity and it felt invasive. And that isn't what we're here to do. We're here to create curiosity and inquiry and support people's discovery of what we have. And so the way that we create this is just, and this is probably the hardest part, because I'm not here to say this is easy overnight money or anything like that. Probably the hardest part of this entire bit. Go ahead and drop in the comments what you think I'm going to say. I'm curious to see if anyone knows what you think I'm going to say. And this has to do with creating this momentum and having conversations with people. What do you think might be the hardest part? No guesses. Personal development, consistency, getting started. These are great guesses. Yourself, Jillian Dixon wins the prize. Yes, working with our own wounds, our ego, our feeling of rejection, our feelings of fear of what are people going to think of me, all of that, that's the hardest part. It's kind of the only hard part, honestly, in this whole business is ourself, is that whole realm of emotion and thoughts. So we get to do a lot of personal development. We get to invest in ourselves and work with those energies. We're all here to support each other in this work. And it's very deep and very powerful and effective work in all of our relationships in life. So quite worthwhile, if I say so myself, to get anchored and clear and come from that place of high intention with what we're doing, but very low expectation or attachment to the outcome of any of our relationships. So that's healthy. That's how we avoid codependency, which I think is also very great in this world. So we do a lot of that inner work here. And that allows us to get into that momentum. We get the ball rolling. When this is happening, we're in conversation. People are being magnetized to what we're sharing. They're curious. They're wondering. This is how we can also preventatively avoid the ego and the fears and the little voices from coming in, because we're like, oh, it's happening. It's exciting. People are saying yes to this. People want to know more. People are saying, thank you so much for sharing this with me. Those are the kinds of experiences we want to be having, and that only happens by starting that ball rolling, getting into conversation. So this is where we also as entrepreneurs get to be our own boss. And we call in our inner boss, and our inner boss gets to tell us, okay, here's when you're showing up for work today. Here's when you clock in, here's when you clock out, and you will get paid when you do that. And so we get to set that for ourselves and show up. And so we set our own time blocks, typically 60, 90 minutes is an average time block, because what we're talking about here is leveraged income. We're talking about putting our part-time hours, 10 to 15 hours of your week, into building what everybody put in the thread earlier of like what you would love to be creating for your life. We can do that with part-time hours if we show up and actually commit to how we're spending that time. So here we are, we're having conversations, we're getting the ball rolling, we're having fun, we're vibing with our community, our mentors, we're allowing the people who brought us in, who have walked this path before us, to give us advice and show us how to do it, and things are flowing. And now when we're in this activity, we in our culture here love to get into the rhythm of 3. If we can bring 3 people in each week, now we've got accelerated momentum, and that's just going to make it easier. It's going to make it more fun. you're going to have the kind of success that lets your whole being know, okay, this is working. I'm ready to continue to walk this path and continue to invest my part-time hours into building this. And that personal feedback is really, really motivating. And that duplicates, that will translate into the other people that you're sharing this with. So when you have that personal success isn't only for yourself. It's opening doorways of possibilities and showing the pathway for many, 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 many people who are walking in your footsteps, that you're helping guide along a pathway. So that's this momentum. And how do we share with people? Well, we can reach out to them individually. We can meet up. We can have a conversation over the phone. And we have this incredible modern platform of social media where we can share our story and create curiosity, much like you've heard Erica share her story today. And when everybody here in the comments talked about what you would create with unlimited income, that is your story. And we're sharing that in a way that creates curiosity for people. They might relate. They might feel magnetized. They might, they might say, wow, you're telling my story. And that gives a great fertile ground to open up a conversation and see where it goes from there. So we have so much world-class training and mentorship. If you're here and you're on this call or you're watching this replay, to really feel into, like, is this for me? I have all kinds of thoughts of why maybe I couldn't do this. We're here to break it down and let you know that we will literally hold your hand through the process if you want that kind of support to have your success. You don't have to have any experience coming in. You don't have to have social media even. You don't even have to, be an expert at social media, but by being open and willing to start an account and start to share, that is how we can have a greater reach than we can just individually reaching out to people. So it's one of the blessings of contemporary network marketing or direct sales, whatever you want to call this industry. It's really a growing, fast growing industry, and likely replacing in some ways all other models of where now, and you're probably already seeing this on so many websites, and so many companies are saying, hey, we'll pay you if you share this with a friend, right? We'll give you money to expose us to your network. Your network is very valuable. And so that's why the company is paying us to share our story with people. But not only are they paying us that affiliate referral, it actually continues to grow exponentially and turn into this residual income when we build this team, when we continue this personal development, we work together, we raise up leadership, and we continue to help people move through what we call the pay plan and reach each milestone where there's significant bonuses, especially as it continues, and especially at the beginning too. We have significant bonuses for getting into that momentum. And when we're helping other people achieve that success, that is how we rise. So that is going to give you a little bit of the nuts and bolts of exactly how it works. We're essentially opening our mouth to talk to people. And when we're opening our mouth, we're simply sharing a story a little bit to create curiosity, or we're asking engaging questions to learn more and hear what people are looking for, to see if our solution could be the answer to what they're saying they're seeking. And that's essentially the nuts and bolts of what we do. The key, like a gardener, is to stay consistent and be open to learning from your mentors. So if this is resonating for you, if you feel like, you know what, everything Erica described is why I would be seeking economic empowerment, and everything I've described is something that, even if it feels unfamiliar, a little uncomfortable, you feel like, you know what, I could do that. Drop a 3 in the comments if this is resonating for you as a viable way to move the needle in your personal life, to where you want it to be, and collectively how we can change the world in that way. So we are going to give, Erica is going to come back on and give a very brief explanation of the particular company that we have partnered with. And if you want to learn more, we have tons of more content to learn more. So get with a person who's sharing this with you. So lay it down for us, Erica. Why Purium?
Beautiful. So Purium is a company that has been created in a very heartfelt and visionary way by the owners, Dave Sandoval and Amy Benner, for over decades now. They've been leaders in the field of a pure food revolution. And they've created this company, which is really a larger movement. And they're here with a commitment to purity, to potency, to integrity of their values, and values that include helping to regenerate the health of people and human suffering on the planet. And through this work, there is a value for environmental stewardship. There is a value for potent nourishment and safe, gentle, supported detoxification that's happening to regenerate our cells on every level so that people are supported to fully step into thriving, and our planet is able to see this redistribution of wealth and resources that is pulling away from like big pharmaceutical and big chemical agriculture companies and starting to fund organic and regenerative agriculture. And really, Dave and Amy have been pioneers from even in the early 90s in the movement to create a standardization of organic, which has allowed us to really be connected to and have access to pure food that comes with a certain measure of quality and gives us that guarantee that we are able to access and put into our bodies something which is entirely free of toxins. So if that is important to you, like it is to me, go ahead and drop a 5 in the comments. And just to give a little bit of a detailed overview of what they have created, they moved from sharing a love of ancient Egyptian wheatgrass juice around the world to creating a full product line, which is rich with core nutrition and products for transformation and so many other things. We're here to serve solutions to people seeking a total health reset and personal transformation, to restore healing of our gut microbiome, to help people with athletic performance, to help mothers and children and pets and people seeking nervous system support. On every level, we have something for everyone. So many more nutritional tools and informational things can be provided for you to discover what's inside of our products. But just know that especially people get started most often with our 30-day programs that provide you with like a turnkey comprehensive package. You'll get everything inside of there to support you to have the kind of deep alkalizing nutrition and 60 meals worth to support a total health reset of restoring your gut health, like I said, and really getting all of your micro and macronutrients that if you've had an experience and you would like to share some of what has shifted for you with your health after experiencing our ultimate lifestyle transformations, go ahead and put some of those health benefits that you've personally experienced in the comments. We have a beautiful community. You will hear and be able to read just endless testimonials of incredible health transformations. So there's something here to help people from healing chronic illness, getting out of pain, and even just restoring energy and recovering from levels of depletion that are widespread. And so that's a little bit of what we have to offer and why we're here offering this. And truly, you'll learn more as you look into this company, what the bigger mission is and how heartfelt it is. And it's a company that is really guaranteed to provide quality over profit. And that's rare, and it's really profoundly special in the world we're living in today. And also, one last pillar, we are here to provide education and to raise up leaders. That's something that I really value, to go out into the world and actually be able to learn about our bodies, to learn about what's happening in the times we're living in and what's happening on our planet. Everything that is shared widely within Purium is absolutely free of charge. widely accessible, widely shareable, and you will get a incredible education on how to empower yourself with health transformational tools.
Amazing. Thank you, Erica. So, when you purchase your 30-day nutrition pack, which can come either with athletes products add-ons, which again you can learn more about, reach out to the person who shared this with you, or you can get it with immune support add-on, or simply by itself. So we sort of have three different ways that you can get started. When you purchase your pack of superfoods and have your own incredible health transformation, whether you're on a McDonald's diet or whether you're eating the purest of the pure organic already, which is how I was and thought, oh, this is for mainstream people, I won't notice anything, was literally blown away at how deeply nourished and energized and happy I felt in a way I'd never experienced before, all because of that soil and the purity standards. When you get your own pack and get to have that experience for yourself, you get the business for free. You get to start everything I just explained. And what you'll have is you'll have a code, and you can share this code with your friends, with your network. But if you're like me and you have no experience and you're not even sure if you can do it, that's how I was, your mentor will help you, even give you the words of how to talk to people. That's how supportive this is, giving us the language. We can borrow other people's posture, and then we can just get them on a call. So if you're here and you're listening and you'd like to take the next step, you can ask to get on a three-way call with the person sharing this with you, with their mentor. They can answer any lingering questions, address any concerns, and really help you get set up in the best way possible for success. And when you get started and you get that support to start talking to people and sharing with your network, it happens in a way that is even beyond us. It just, like the mycelium in the soil, or the electricity in the air, or the birds flying around and passing messages to each other, it just starts to spread. And it all starts with that decision of claiming the life that you vision for yourself and letting that fuel you all the way through. So when you have that code and your friends purchase their products or join you in the business, you're receiving income off of that, commissions off of that. And as it accumulates, you're achieving these bonuses. And that's where it can really turn into something where you're making money while you sleep. You're able to pursue your passion projects because this income is flowing in. You're raising leaders, and most importantly, you're helping other people create this economic empowerment too. I just went and looked at the list of the things people said they would do with an unlimited budget, and that's really why I'm here. Because I can, cultivate our land and do the thing for myself, but if I know that by showing up each day to do this work in part-time hours, I'm helping hundreds, thousands of people create these other ways that we're shaping a better world to pass on to future generations, then I really know I'm in the right place, doing the right thing, and having that exponential impact is powerful. So thank you everybody for taking the time to be here. And again, get with the person who shared this with you. They have a code for you, help you get set up with your code or answer further questions. And the price of the packs that I mentioned, those 3 packs, goes anywhere from $524 to $324, depending on which pack you get. So that's $11 to $17 a day, and can often replace other parts of your current grocery bill. So some people actually save money on this program, and certainly we're here to make money as well. So excited to help you get started. We welcome you. All the support is here. And if you even now are starting to have thoughts of who you would love to share this with, that's really significant. And I encourage you to write those names down and start opening those conversations with other people and say, hey, I'm learning about this thing. I'm getting pretty excited. I don't know much about it, but I wonder if you'd love to hear about it too, and see if this is something that we might want to do together. Who knows? We could be accountability partners and dive into something really special together. And that's the conversation. You could just invite people to learn what you're up to. So have a beautiful rest of your day, everybody, and thanks for being here and thanks for sharing and caring. Thank you, Erica.